The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? It's Enrique Becco here from the SqueezeMobi team, along with our very own Henson. Henson, I am glad to have you here. Before we get right into the presentation, let me get a big hello from everybody that's on the line. Just want to make sure that everyone hears me. All right. All right, Ken, Robert, Stanley, Eugene, Larry, Mark. Hello, everybody. Ross and Jen, Evelyn, Chad, Bill, Claude. Where's everybody coming from today? Let's get some energy in the room. I want to get some energy going and get right into this presentation. It's going to be an exciting time. I see Claude from Texas, Gerard from Maryland, Mark from Daytona. Daytona, oh, sounds like a nice warm place. And Lisa from Vegas. Don't gamble all your money away. You know you gotta buy some more SqueezeMobi products. So don't gamble all your money away, all right, Lisa? Promise. Good morning, Kevin, Mark as well. So let's see. Let me see, Henson. How are you doing? Give everyone a big hello. I'm glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here, so.
Your audio is still not the best, but we'll work with it. We'll make it happen anyways. So just want to introduce everybody to this session and also to Henson as well. And just a quick introduction. I think a lot of people have probably know Henson. If you haven't seen him, he's been in a lot of our webinars and has been helping out with whenever someone has had questions. Also a little bit with support, but there have been other things that may be behind the scenes that you haven't seen. And Henson has actually and is an integral part of the SqueezeMobi team. So I want to first of all thank you, Henson, for everything, all the contributions that you've made to our team, and I'm looking forward to this year, 2013, to making it a very big and productive, huge year for both you and I, and for SqueezeMobi as a whole. And I know you got some kind of exciting projects as well that you're working on, and that's exactly actually what we're going to be talking about is today how to outsource your outsourcing, because Henson is actually in the Philippines right now, and we hired originally Henson to become a part of the SqueezeMobi team via onlinejobs.ph. So before we get into this cool presentation about outsourcing, I want to ask everybody, who here is excited about outsourcing, and not only just excited, because honestly, when you can leverage that power, that's how you take your business to the next level. Now, it's not easy. It's not a push-button solution. Let me tell you that. It's definitely not, and it takes a lot of guidance, a lot of sometimes in the beginning, actually, you're going to the one task is going to take you more because you're going to have to train someone, you have to show someone how to do it. But if you really kind of give them those keys to that responsibility, they will grow and they will actually maybe even perform better than you could at that task, adding a ton of value to your company. So who right now either not necessarily just outsources, because I honestly I don't like that word that much, because here at SqueezeMobi we have a little bit of a different policy. Whenever we bring someone on, we bring them on as a part of the team. We do outsource literally some things, but Henson is, for example, an integral part of the team, even though he is in the Philippines. But you all know outsourcing is a great buzzword, so that's the word that we're going to be using today. Who here currently either outsources or even locally has people on their team. And either give me a yes or give me a no, not yet, or anything like that. But I do want to see kind of the division. If you're maybe planning to do it, then give me like a not yet. But I want to see where everybody is right now. Okay, so a ton of people know not yet. And okay, so I would say most people here are saying no, not yet. And maybe it's about 25% of people are already currently have either people locally or maybe someone even overseas in the Philippines, while other people are not. All right, well, let's get right into it. What we're going to be talking about, and if you stay with me until the end, you will figure out how not only to outsource, but to outsource outsourcing. So you don't even have to do the process of outsourcing yourself, which is kind of cool when you can kind of create multiple levels in your organization and really exponentially start growing. All right, right into it. Henson, are you excited? Because I think everyone here, are you excited to get this party rocking?
I'm very excited.
All right, let me ask you the first question then, because this is going to be a little bit of a modified Q&A, but also some analysis on my part as well. So Henson, can you just tell us, and this is kind of very important because I want people to relate to this. What were some of the things that excited you about SqueezeMobi when we originally approached you via onlinejobs.ph compared to possibly other companies that you were talking to, or even the call center that you were at before you joined the SqueezeMobi team?
First of all, I used to work for a call center in the country, which is also a business process outsourcing industry. And during that time, we have to travel like around an hour or two just for me to be able to get to that location, that office. And the problem there is that we have to work at night. And when you go out at night, you know that there are people, there are robbers outside, and you also have rain at night, and you can even find a ride for you to get to the office. So those things actually made me think about switching to another career, or maybe perhaps getting a different job from what I'm currently doing. Although honestly at that time, the job that I'm in is a fulfilling one in a sense that I already am at the top of the ladder currently, because I'm already a project manager at that time and doing training as well. And when SqueezeMobi approached me and sent me an email, the thing that I saw about them is that they were very transparent about what they need, what they could offer me, and I saw that there's a lot of room to grow. I was very excited when they actually showed me that they have a lot of products going, they have people on the team, and everything is really in a fast pace. So I thought that this is the best place for me to be able to have a new career and also be able to really grow, not just as a person, but also grow professionally. And apart from that, I also had other companies and people approach me from online jobs, Odask, and other online sites that I joined. However, the thing about them is that I'm not really interested in looking at their ads because everything was so vague. When you ask them questions as to how much the pay would be, what are the tasks that I'm going to perform, what would my actual position be, they're not able to actually give me definite answers. So that for me is not a good sign. I wouldn't want to join a company that actually cannot give me answers or even do work for a person, because there are even people who approach me, a one-man team, who could not provide me definite answers as to what I'm going to do for him or her. And I also heard a lot of horror stories from my friends as well about people hiring them and with them not really becoming interested because of the fact that those people are not able to give them a definite route as to how the actual employment would go. So that for me is very important. And when I saw all of those things with SqueezeMobi, I jumped the gun. I actually am outside at that time. I'm in the mall. I saw the email from my mobile phone, and I answered them by my mobile phone. And when Avi sent me another email telling me that I have an interview, I was supposed to go out of town that day because we were supposed to go to Enchanted Kingdom. It's kind of like the what you call the Disneyland of the Philippines, quite close to that.
Wait,
But
so you canceled your trip?
Yes, I did.
You didn't even tell us
I
this.
saw Avi's email. I don't want to tell you guys because I don't want you guys to think that because of you guys, I'm not able to enjoy myself and live my life outside of work. But then again, I was so very, very excited to really join the team. So I told my friends, I'm really sorry I cannot join you today. Maybe we could just do it next week. And good enough, all of them agreed that we just do it next week because I told them that this job is super exciting. I could not afford to lose this. So I'm actually on my computer the whole day and the next day waiting for Avi to send me another email and waiting for him to be online. He told me that I need to be online at, I think that's around 10 p.m. Manila time. That's 9 a.m. EST. I was on the computer at 6 p.m. Manila time. I was already waiting for him to contact me. So when I saw him online, I was like, are we having the interview now? I was so excited. All of those things that I saw with SqueezeMobi is all exciting. That really drove me to join the team and really wait for you guys to pick me.
All right. Thanks for that, Henson. I really appreciate it, and I didn't actually know that you actually kind of even skipped one of your planned trips because of that. Well, you know, hopefully that was a good decision, and I think it was.
It was.
Well,
it was indeed.
And with that, I kind of want to talk about a few things. And number one, it's kind of the mentality when you're approaching outsourcing. And I see some of the questions here. For example, Doug, and hopefully I'll be able to cover a couple of these, is saying outsourcing is very frustrating. Breaking my needs down into microscopic, super defined instructions takes hours and hours and redos to get a task done. So, and with that, I kind of want to ask as well, who has here found outsourcing to be a little frustrating? Has anyone tried to outsource something and found aspects of it to be very frustrating? And I want to see, I see Ronald saying yes, I see Walt, Kevin. Okay, so only three, everyone else, only 3 people out of over 100? All right, then we're good, okay. No, there's more. So, okay, I see quite a bit of people as well have found this to be frustrating. Now, Gary says, I picture the frustration and I haven't even tried yet. I guess that's how much how frustrating it was. And I want to give you a couple of things that possibly might change a little bit of your mind shift to make this less frustrating. And one of the first things is whenever I want to bring someone onto the team, once again, I don't consider it outsourcing. That is the first part, because I want to integrate people into the team. Okay? For example, you see big companies such as Google or any type of company, they are growing a team, and they're even giving equity to people if that's how some of these places are structured as well. Now, so whenever we look for someone, I look for someone that's going to be here long term, and all of our team members are on the same level as us. Meaning, of course, we have the final decision, and I'm going to be the one that's going to decide. However, the last point is very, very critical for me. I always urge our team members to criticize me. Okay, and I think I often kind of repeat that because once again, I'm not a dictator. It's not, hey, I have to be always right. I have this huge ego, and whatever I say is right, and I just start talking for hours and hours and how things should be and how things are. No, I mean, I try to take criticisms in and also ideas because I know that other people have great ideas as well, and then that I can grow too. So we actually originally took Henson on to be just a part of the support staff, and however, if even when you're taking on someone just to do maybe repetitive kind of support tasks, and you don't really kind of consider them to possibly contribute ideas later on, then you're kind of pigeonholing themselves and pigeonholing them and also your company as well. And do they really kind of deserve to be on that team? Because there's a lot of people out there with creative ideas and that can help your company grow. You just have to empower them. And I heard this, and I don't know the exact quote, but it goes something like this. You find an opportunity, and that opportunity can make you $1 million. Now, you start creating opportunities, and that's how you become a billionaire. Think about that. The other thing that I wanted to ask about regarding just pigeonholing someone and making them do maybe just the support function, just going into repetitive tasks. Henson, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? What is more important for you? And I was actually shocked at something that you told me yesterday. But I want to know, I mean, do you want the job that's just really easy, or something repetitive? For example, even support, you know yourself, can be sometimes a little repetitive. People ask the same questions day in, day out, or something that's going to challenge you more, maybe possibly make you grow. And before you answer this, I do want to kind of I do want to say this: there are people that prefer those repetitive tasks. There really are. They consider their job just their job. They want to do their 8 hours. They want to make their money. And when they leave, boom, that's it. There are a ton of people like that. They only consider it as a source of income. That's it. And that's for some jobs that's cool. But we're entrepreneurs, and I urge you to filter out for employees and team members that are going to make you grow as well. So Henson, like I asked the question, what do you think? Something that's easy, repetitive, or something that challenges you more, and why as well?
I'll be honest. There are really, like what you said, there are really people who like it repetitively. If I'm not going to think about myself, then that's just going to be an easy task to do. You could just sit for like 8 hours and then sleep afterwards and do whatever it is that you'd like to do. But for me, honestly, my mindset is that if it's not challenging enough, I would not stay with the company at all. There may be a time that I may have to find another company who could actually give me more challenge. That for me is the drive for me to really work for that company, for that team, or for that person. If I'm being challenged all throughout my stay, then definitely that person could actually keep me forever. And he could actually see me at my most, or rather the optimum that I could be. He could actually see the best work that I could actually produce. If he does that, then definitely if you just are expecting 100%, you may be getting 500% out of me if you keep challenging me. And however, if you just do it repetitively and it gets boring, then instead of getting 100%, maybe they're making come a time that since it's just a robotic job, you may be getting around 80% or just 50% of what I could actually offer you, and because it's just a robotic task. So I would go for the challenging one.
Okay, okay. And I don't know if you mentioned this, but I was really shocked when you said yesterday, you said, hey, you know, if this was gonna be something that was more repetitive, then cool, you know, I'm gonna make a little bit of money, but I would probably eventually quit.
Yeah, definitely.
And
That's 100% true.
I was like, whoa, like, you know, really? I mean, I knew this kind of on an internal or theoretical basis. Hey, people want something that's challenging, but when you actually tell me straight up, hey, you know, if you're not gonna, that challenges me as well, because if I'm just kind of pigeonholing you and to giving you these little repetitive tasks, you're gonna kind of leave the company, even though that you have a ton of potential, which is not going to be good for us because we're going to lose you. All right, so I know that would kind of not be good for us at all. So think about this as well, and this kind of goes also a little bit against the mindset that I see a lot of people having. A lot of people have this, and you know, even I've listened to a ton of also kind of trainings on whether it was outsourcing, hiring people. Even when I was when I was studying some kind of business courses and things like that regarding hiring, managerial theory, and it's interesting because a lot of people when they kind of come, and you kind of tell me this, what do you find, guys? I want to hear your feedback. Do you find that the people that you outsource to or you've tried to outsource to, what happens when you give them a creative task? Have you been disappointed generally, or has that person done it well? And I want to hear feedback from all of you guys. What have your experiences been regarding when you've been outsourcing and you gave someone that something more maybe challenging, a little bit that had a little bit more creativity? Were you disappointed in the result, or did you actually basically, you know, get something that you wanted and you empower that person? Let's see. All right. And I want to see what the feedback from everybody is. Maybe I just structure that question a little better. And Kalem says, no one has done it well. They waste my time, even once they have told me that they understand what I need and they can do. Okay, you know, and I've seen that. I have definitely seen that. Bill says normally it does not meet my standards. Sarita says, you know, I was disappointed, but I don't think that I has a vested interest in the outcome like Henson does. And yes, I completely agree with everybody, and I know this is kind of the feedback that I've generally been getting from people. And I'll tell you, you know, up front, we have gone through people that are just not up for it. For example, like Henson is. They're just not up for it. So what I urge you to do is, instead of kind of having that mindset that, all right, outsourcing is a waste of time, it does not work, I'm not going to find anyone that's going to be able to meet my standards and do this, just tweak your approach a little bit. Start tweaking your approach and really figuring it out, going kind of a little bit deeper. Hey, let's try to hit this from a different angle. What was it? Maybe it wasn't the right person. Because honestly, I mean, if you think about it, it's logical. How many people are in the Philippines? Henson, is it like 40, 60 million? Henson, what's the
We have like 75, almost 80 million
Okay,
now.
that was my original guess, but then I was like, oh, it's that many? Okay, all right. So about 80, the population of the Philippines is 80 million. A big percentage of the population is college educated as well. You are going to obviously find some quality people. It's just about us sourcing the right people and really tapping into those sources of talent correctly and then empowering those people to get us the results and thus allowing them as well to grow, whether it's financially but also personally. So just taking a little bit of a different mindset and that's what I'm going to try to teach you as well today is, hey, what are some approaches to this to the hiring process so that you can find these people that you can add on and integrate into your team that are going to take your business to the next level, but that you can empower. Not the people that are going to do repetitive tasks, but the people that you can empower. And how have we done this at SqueezeMobi? And I'll tell you up front, it's not a push-button solution. It was difficult, and there were many, many hours of searching, interviews, just different types, setting HR policies, and I really had to kind of think about it. So I hope that by me sharing my experiences with you, it's going to cut a little bit of that time off, but in the end, you're going to have to go through it yourself. You're going to have to figure out what HR policies and what processes are correct for you. All right? Now, let's see. So one of the first things, how do you find the right person? What about, on the other hand, they appear, oh, yeah, okay, I understand, yeah, okay. And then you get something, and it's a complete disaster. It's just a complete, pardon my French, it's just a complete piece of shit, And you're like, what the hell, I just wasted all this time. You're upset. I mean, I gave you all these directions. It sounded like you knew what you were doing, and you kept on agreeing. You could have asked for more clarification, and you give me this back. What is this? It frustrates you, drives you insane, and we don't want that. So let's not find these people, and let's find the people that are actually good. What is the one thing that I highly recommend? Who has done a test task? Give me a yes or no. Who has done a test task for someone they've been trying to hire? Rather than hiring them directly, who has given them a test task? Okay? Walt says yeah all the time, and a lot of people are saying no. Okay. And Davis says, unsure what to try with them. What do you suggest? Davis, and I'll tell you. Okay. All right. And Bill says, interesting. Yes, this one's interesting, but I make it too easy. Yes, but I made it too easy. All right. And Walt also says, hey, I learned the hard way. And this was one of the first strategies that I learned when it comes to hiring anyone and integrating them into your team is this test task, because I saw a lot of hiring processes that I went through. I never had a test task, and honestly, I probably wasn't the right person for that task. I did not perform to my potential in my previous jobs, and I think right now I'm performing much more to my potential than I was before, because I was pigeonholed by these big corporations that pigeonhole you into these little. They don't give you these opportunities. So it sucked, and I hated those types of jobs, and it ended up making me leave in order to do my own thing. Whereas if I had the ability to drive something, I might have actually stayed. Now, what about a test task? All right. So for example, I mean, let's start off with this, and this is true. I know it. I've studied quite a bit of finance. Yeah, I could get an A average in anything in university, but does that mean, for example, in finance, can I actually value a company, structure an entire M&A deal, as I would be doing if I would then end up joining an investment bank? Maybe. Who knows? but is there a direct correlation? Now, if you take me actually, hand by hand and take me through the process in one of the classes, actually working on a live deal, that's transitioning this education into something more practical. But what about people? They appear, oh yeah, hey, I got that. That's, pat on the back. Oh, everything's good, everything's great. And then, sorry, it wasn't. It didn't seem as it appeared. So let's start structuring test tasks. And how do test tasks work? Okay. Basically, when you get into the later parts of the process, there are either two ways. And I'll tell you, there's one way. One way is doing a test task. People have asked, what type of test task? Okay. For example, are you going to be hiring someone to do the fulfillment, to actually build mobile sites, to edit our templates, to do the delivery? What's the type of test task that you could do for them? You tell me. The fulfillment of mobile sites or mobile, creating mobile apps, whatever. What is a type of test task that you could do for them? What do you think, guys? Exactly. Sidra's completely right. But I wanna hear it. Exactly. And a ton of people are having it right. Give them a site to do. And for example, with the directory, as David says, have them populate the directory, for example. Have them build a site. Have they build something. And this is an investment, right? It might not even be for you. Might not even have a client. It might not be even for a potential client. You might not even be able to use this, but you can see the quality of their work. That's an easy one. That's a very easy one. Now, so that's one way, test task. Another way, for example, let's say you have someone that you want doing cold calls for you. Do I necessarily recommend that? Maybe not. Maybe just setting appointments. And this is kind of up to you if you want to bring that in-house or if you just want to outsource that. This is something I would more recommend outsourcing to possibly a telemarketing team that could set appointments to you. But let's say, just for the sake of the example, you want to bring someone to set appointments for you. Now, this is not as much of a test task. That's why you have to be careful, and you could either do a test task or a trial period, which we recommend for 5 to 7 days, where you actually have a trial period and you see their performance and you tell them, like we told Henson, I said, Henson, hey, we're going to give you 7 days, 1 week of a trial period, and if you do good, I think you have the potential from how I screened you so far. If you do good, we're going to integrate you, we're going to take you on into the team. If not, I hope you can understand. We'll part ways, no hard feelings. But yeah. So I wanted to see, Henson, what did you think of us hiring you for a couple days for that 7-day trial period, and kind of like giving you a test drive almost?
Actually, for Filipinos, it's our culture that we always want to prove ourselves. So we have this saying in Tagalog, but I'll just say it in English though.
You could say it in Tagalog too.
We say it like madali mong nakuha, madaling bitawan, or it's like easy come, easy go. So if you're able to get something that easily, you could just easily forgo of that because it's not something that you would value, because you did not work for that enough for you to really love or had your blood and sweat into that thing that you did. So you're not going to be able to really put much love to that job or task. So for me, I really find that period as a challenge for me to really prove myself, show you guys what I could do, what my value is, and show you how I could be an integral part of the team. So for Filipinos, that's very important because if we have that would actually really show employers what kind of person you are currently hiring. Because if you give them challenging tasks, then we would then try to do our best. If they're not going to give their best and try to perform that task, then it's a reflection that that person you're trying to hire is not serious about the job. However, if you give them even a very challenging task, and they try their best, even if they're not able to really produce what you would want them to produce, but then again, you saw all the efforts that they put into the task. They actually spend a lot of time for them to be able to try and do what it is you'd like them to do. Then that is a clear reflection that that person is serious about what he or she is doing, and that person is highly trainable, which means the person that you're currently hiring is very serious about the job that he's applying for, and that he would do everything within his power and within his ability to be able to prove himself and do well for the company. So that for me is really nice, because that time when you gave it 7 days to as a trial period, I actually did everything I could to showcase all of my abilities, not just on the administrative side, not just on the support side. I actually tried to think of ways to really impress you guys, for you to really have me on the team, so that when finally on the 7th day you actually told me that I'm hired, even though I know that I'm doing good, the fact that I was able to prove myself and then you actually gave your approval, that for me is an achievement. So I told myself, since I really worked hard for this, I actually have my sweat and blood just for me to be able to prove myself, then I'm going to do all I can to stay with this job. And that is very important for Filipinos. We really try to prove our best. So I think if you're going to apply that to other Filipinos or other people that you're going to try and hire, even if they fail at the beginning, if you see that they're putting all their effort and they're willing to be trained, and whatever you throw at them, they try to do it, then that would actually show a reflection that they are serious about the job. And I believe that seriousness about the job, a person's dedication is quite important, because skills, there are a lot of people who have skills in the Philippines, I could say that. We have millions of graduates in the Philippines, but attitude is also very important. If you've gotten a person who's really good, but then again that person is not dedicated to what he's doing, I think you're not getting the right person still.
You bring up a very good point there, because actually looking back at it, that was one of the reasons that because we had a couple candidates that we were trying to figure out who to take on the team, and we didn't know at the time. I was talking with Avi, and Avi's like, you know what, you're gonna really like this Henson guy, and even if he's kind of making it up, he just said all the right things. He just had all the right things to say. He knew, he sounded very excited. He was talking about, growing with the company, and he just nailed it all on the spot. And you're gonna, I think, really like this guy and hire him. And like you said, attitude, that was actually probably one of the biggest factors. Not only did you perform, but like you said, there's millions of graduates in the Philippines. But on the other hand, I knew you were very excited and thought that you would be very passionate as well about the company. And I see that as well. Let me see. What did Henson do his first week? Was it full-time? Erica is asking. And Erica, I'm going to go right into this. And yes, we did hire Henson full-time for that first week. And what did Henson do? So at that time, we were looking for someone to help out with support. So supporting customers, clients, things of that nature. So we basically gave Henson, via our system, we gave him a username and password, and we said, hey, from what we showed you about us and what you think you could do, just start going in there and start answering those different questions and start communicating with people, and we'll then evaluate your answers. So we basically just threw them in the deep end and wanted to see, hey, can you swim or will you sink? One thing I do want to note is we did pay Henson for that test period. And Henson, I want to hear a little bit about your story. I know you just told me a little while ago. You mentioned the story. Was it about a friend that?
Yeah.
And that he had some. Was it via like onlinejobs.ph or someone that he?
It was.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was actually. I'm not clear whether the problem was with the person who hired them or it's with the project manager. But the thing there is that first of all, when they started with the tasks, they were told that they were going to get this certain amount for the trial period, for example. And then after them performing, the project manager then tells them that they're not going to get the same rate as promised, so they're going to get something lower. And after that, they were waiting for them to get paid for the trial period, and they were told that they're going to be hired. After a couple of weeks, they were waiting for their salary to be paid. After that, they could no longer contact any of the persons, the project manager nor the employer, and they actually reported to onlinejobs.ph, and they were very helpful to try and find those persons and locate those people. But then again, they could no longer contact them. So that is, I think, that type of story discourages a lot of good people to really join this type of job that I'm doing. Okay. Although a lot of people is very eager and jealous of what I'm currently doing right now, and I'm sure they are actually. I was just talking to. I was out around 7 p.m. tonight. I had dinner with some of my co-workers before. They were asking me what I'm doing, and they are really good people. They are very technical. Some of them have master's degree. They want to do what I'm doing, but because of those types of stories, they wouldn't want to try this out, or they are hesitant to try this type of job.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But regarding what the task kind of we gave to you, I wanted to see. So you're saying are they really kind of, do they just go to call centers instead? When you talk to them, do you feel that hesitancy from a lot of these people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could actually feel that because they would rather just go to the call centers, because call centers here in the Philippines are very rampant. We have like call centers in every corner of the city, even the provinces. Like here in my location right now in Manila, I have like 100 calls, literally 100 call centers waiting for people to be hired. And although honestly, yes, there are a lot of professionals actually working in the call centers right now, and call centers is actually the melting point of what we call it's a melting point industry, wherein all the different professionals from all industries actually converge. You have doctors, nurses who actually work in the call center, and they are quite intrigued about this type of job, honestly. And I think this is the wave of the future. A lot of those professionals, IT graduates, nurses, also we also have teachers and professors who's actually in the call center business right now, who may actually have a chance to land in this type of job and really do well. Should they actually find as well an employee like SqueezeMobi, whom I'm very much enjoying, and I would definitely recommend off the bat, and I think I would stay with forever. That's an understatement.
Thank you. And Eric actually has an interesting question, which I'm kind of interested in as well, if you don't mind. What are the different type of salary ranges in a call center, if you know, kind of on a monthly basis?
It depends on the experience of the person you're hiring, as well as the educational background. You could go as low as 15,000 for customer service and salesperson.
Yeah.
They also get other incentives. If you're going to get managers and supervisors, then you are looking around. The minimum is 20,000 if they're not too experienced, but there are those who could actually get 25,000 and above. But for if you're going to get somebody who is experienced enough but would like to work in the as a VA, you may get somebody who range around 15 to 20,000 who could really do well.
Okay. Okay. So 15 to 25,000 depending on the level at like call centers, right? So
yes,
approximately. And we have basically it's 40 pesos to 1 USD approximately. I know it might be a little more, so but just so people kind of have something to gauge based on that. Now, let me give you a kind of funny story about two of our former employees as well. Which I thought was really funny, regarding this test period. So the test period doesn't always go so well. So Henson is not our typical case, all right? So before we were hiring for one position, and we had two candidates, and I don't want to say their names, so and I'll make up names. So let's say candidate 1 was Sally, and candidate 2 was Nancy. All right, I'll make up names. So candidate 1, Sally, and I thought she was good. I thought she had some good experiences. She was college educated. She seemed like she knew what she was talking about. The mistake, unlike with Henson, she didn't really seem too excited. But I was like, all right, if she's going to perform well, who cares? Mistake, mistake, mistake. I got on Skype with her about her first day. Not only did she kind of come late, she kept on bothering me on Skype. She's like, okay, what do I do? What about this? What about that? But it was a little pushy. It's like, okay, it's kind of weird. And I said that we were gonna pay both of them for the first week, and at the end of that week we're gonna probably choose one person. So this first person, Sally, I sent her the PayPal payment for I don't know how much it was for that first week, whether it was like $50 or something. Let's say arbitrary number. I don't think this is correct, but let's say it was $50. All right, for that first week. And there's this PayPal fee of like 3%, but it's not. You can't choose in PayPal who absorbs that fee. The receiver automatically absorbs that fee. And she wrote to me. She said, I only received $48.50. I didn't receive the full 50. Can you make sure that you send me the extra $1.50? And that was just my tipping point. I remember getting on a call with Avi and Neil, and I was just about to go crazy. That really, and I was like, all right, and she said it in this kind of pushy, rude way. I'm a pretty chill person. I'm a pretty, very, like, I would say understanding person, but I was furious. And I was like, you know what? All right, just take and pardon my language, just take the fucking money and just go. I don't want to see you around. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Keep the money. Boom, you're done. All right. She was fired even before she even had a couple minutes of working with us during the test period. So that was test period number 1 that went bad. Test period number 2 that went bad. That didn't go that bad, but actually the other girl that we were going to hire for this position, Nancy, it's not her real name, but Nancy, she was so sweet. She was really sweet, really, really nice. But at the end, we kind of figured out that she just wasn't right for the position. I really wanted to because she was the nicest person, but unfortunately her kind of technical capabilities and her technical acumen weren't up there. So we had to let her go. But on the other hand, you get all these you get these really good quality people. And even when I let her go, I felt really bad about it. But she was very understanding. She said thank you for the opportunity. She was still excited, and she said she learned a lot during that week. And that really made me feel good because I wanted to say, hey, I even told her, hey, if you need anything, kind of reach out. Anything I could help you with. It's not about you, but you kind of understand. And I was very kind of upfront. I didn't make up anything. I was just very straightforward. So 2 of our previous test task or trial periods, just so you know how some of these things go as well. All right. Now, what about we had a problem, and let me tell you a little bit about this problem. Our problem was that we hired Henson for support, like I said, but honestly, and we knew this, he was overqualified. But we always do hire people and team members that are overqualified. Because why? Because it's always better to hire someone overqualified that's going to be able to excel, that has room to grow even to other positions, than to be cheap. With people, you want to be smart. You don't want to give them the whole 9 yards because sometimes, you know, and I've kind of experienced this in other places. But if they do then later kind of prove themselves, then you definitely don't want to be cheap. And especially when you're hiring someone, you see, okay, someone is maybe 10,000 PHP per month, which would be about $250, versus 15,000, which is about $375. But you know, the one for $375 is a little more excited about the job. But I'm just gonna, you know, go. I'm trying to keep costs down. People are something that you don't want to be cheap on. You are gonna be cheating yourself and your company in the end. Just keep that in mind. Make sure that they deserve it and they understand that that they did a good job. But just be careful. That is one thing that you want to be kind of careful about. So, what was our problem? That was a little bit of our dilemma. Now, we also then just came about that we need someone very, very technical also for our support desk. We're always kind of growing the team. We're growing quite fast, but we basically do need a qualified employee for our technical support. Henson is strong. But what does this mean? This means that he also probably knows a lot of strong other people that we might be able to add to the team. And Henson, just as we've been talking here, you've just given us, right, a couple of examples. You said, hey, you know, I know this person that had a master's degree. I know this person that did this. I know this person that did this. They're all very strong people, but they're a little wary about all this internet stuff. These aren't going to be the people that you find on onlinejobs.ph, on Elance, on sites like this, but they are still out there. There's this whole other world. So what I'm trying to get into your mind is, once you find that one quality employee, what does that mean? It starts with one, because once we found Henson is a strong candidate, strong employee, he also is around other people and can then source all these other people that might not be on onlinejobs.ph, and we're basically outsourcing the outsourcing by just getting that first person in the door. All right? And on top of that, if it's going to be someone that Henson manages, Henson is obviously going to find someone that's qualified, but also someone that's going to be good to work with. Because Henson, right? Why would you find someone that's going to be lazy? It's going to then reflect back on you, or someone that's not qualified. And what I want to ask is, why, Henson? Why do you yourself think that you could potentially find a better person for the SqueezeMobi team than maybe we could find ourselves?
Like what you said, I'd like to expound on your on the point that you just mentioned. Being able to work in the BPO industry, which is the call center industry in the Philippines, I was able to meet different people. I was actually in the call center business for 10 years now, 10 years before I actually worked with you guys. And I was able to meet different people who have different backgrounds and different capabilities, and they have a lot of connections and sources for me to be able to really find qualified people to join the team. And apart from that, I'm not saying that you guys may not be able to relate with us, because I'm actually more than able to relate with you, with Abby and Neil and Enrique and everyone else.
But I know what you mean.
And
I
all
know
the
what you
other
mean.
clients that, yeah, but being a Filipino, I understand the culture. I mean, like you guys, if you have a joke, maybe you would understand that. But us, we may be we may just be in awe as to why you guys are laughing. But me, I know the culture. I know how people react. Being able to have that leverage, I could actually use that during interviews for me to be able to really ascertain whether that person is fitted for the job. Because, for example, I plan to have an interview via Skype with the video on, for me to be able to see, for example, how the person reacts to the question, how he actually flinches maybe his eye while he's actually answering. Those things are minor things that could actually give us hints as to how that person, if that person is really sincere with what he's saying. We could actually easily identify that, because those things are common to us. We know how people would actually raise their hand, or what gestures they would do for us to be able to really see and hear, and perhaps feel that that person is really telling us the truth, or that person is really going to give us the best that he could be, not just saying that he's going to do that. And apart from that, we would be able to really know whether that person could really communicate with you guys, because being a person from the call center industry, I know how to evaluate people speaking in the English language. I cannot say that I'm a perfect English speaker, but then again, I know how to be able to communicate in the neutral manner for me to be able to be understood by
Wait. I want
native
to ask.
speakers, American speakers, or even the people in the UK, for them to understand.
I just wanted to see, Henson, can you still hear me?
WordPress. I know what people are asking about WordPress with our products. Then maybe I could actually use that for me to be able to test the person whether he really knows how to manipulate WordPress, and really knows how to be able to answer questions coming from customers about WordPress. So those things I could actually use to leverage and really be able to really find the right person for the task. And lastly, of course, like what you said, I wouldn't want somebody not as enthusiastic as I am, and not as dedicated as I am. So I'm going to make sure that whoever I'm going to include in the team would be somebody who would actually work at par or even better than I am. So those things could actually be on my side for me to be able to get better person than you guys.
All right. Yep. And exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking, and kind of my reasoning behind it as well. Because number one, for example, reading in between the lines, like you said, same culture, you can relate, you could see things we can't see. And there was also, for example, with one of those test cases, I asked, and I urge you, if you have someone on your team that's from the Philippines, also ask them to interview this potential addition to your team. Because, for example, Abigail, I remember telling me, And I said, hey, what do you think about this potential employee? And she said, do you want me to be really honest with you? And she kind of gave me some warnings that I wouldn't see otherwise, and made it easier for me to make that decision. So, better to evaluate, no language barrier, and and you're also actually also in support every single day, which we do, Avi and I and Neil sometimes look in there, but we're not in there as much anymore. We're not up on those necessarily kind of exactly relevant things. Now, of course, we create these products, so we know all those things, but the interactions, there's this little bit of a different dynamic that you might be better able to evaluate compared to what we would be able to evaluate, and also access to sources of employees. For example, once again, onlinejobs.ph, Elance, yeah, you have all of these. What about all those people that are wary? What about the local universities where there's huge amounts of talent? Local universities, and usually, and someone told me this, I don't remember who, but someone told me the best thing for a person coming out of uni to do when they're in the Philippines is go to a call center. Now, how much more exciting is it to work for a startup company, especially kind of you frame it, a UK-based that's also heavily involved in the American market, mobile marketing company? That's much more exciting, in my opinion. I think you would probably agree, Henson, than it is to work at a call center for example, for like AT&T or Sprint.
You just mentioned AT&T. That's my first job. And Sprint was my third job in the call center.
And I know you told me this, but but I didn't pick those on purpose. I promise I didn't pick those on purpose. So,
okay, no worries.
but how do we structure this task for you in order to find someone that would be an addition to our team? We structured this. We were specific. So we told you, hey, find us 2 to 3 people that Abhi and I can interview that you've already pre-screened that you think would be very good additions to the team. That was the first thing. So that alleviates a lot of the stress that we had before, where we spend maybe 20 hours interviewing, filtering all these people, going through developing these processes, talking to people, saying, oh, I like this about this person, I like that about that person. Your head explodes because it's a lot, and you don't know necessarily how to filter, how to screen those people. Second thing, also, by when do we want to conduct these interviews? So there's about 7 days, and I asked you, hey, how long do you think it's gonna take you? What do you think is realistic? Well, we want to be specific. I don't want to just tell you, hey, do this, and then 2 months later we reconvene. Oh, but there was nothing specific, no specific time. So structuring it specifically. So I wanna ask basically on that, how do you feel when someone gives you like a vague task? When someone says, throws you out in the dark, but it's really vague that you're just kind of not sure. Henson, how does that make you feel? Yeah, I kind of know the answer, but.
Well, if I'm given a vague task, honestly, at the beginning, if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, that can be confusing and intimidating as well, because you don't know how to be able to really please your boss or really be able to do the outcome as expected. But for me, the most important thing is be able to communicate with each other, ask questions when necessary for you to be able to get the idea of what outcome your boss would like to have. And but however, the best thing about being able to communicate with your boss at the beginning, like during the test period, you somehow get a feel of what your boss likes, how he likes things to be done, and how he actually likes things to be processed. So if I'm given a big task now, since you were able to have me undergo those test periods as well as be able to do the things that you asked me to do the past few months.
And
Now I know how it is you'd like it done, so I could be more creative as well.
yeah, and so
And because
regarding this, do you also feel that you want some space for creativity, right? I mean, you don't want just because I mean, we could micromanage it and say, hey, use this template, use that template, but you already have kind of your own process as well. So do you feel that space for creativity is important as well for you?
definitely, because I think you would, both of us would grow professionally and personally by means of having a space for creativity, and I think that would do well for me as a person because I would be able to develop my skills as I work with you guys, and good for the company in a sense that I'm going to be able to contribute more than just doing what I'm asked to do, because I think being able to be given that enough space for creativity would really spark a lot of things. Because, like, for example, you told me that we are going to have this very important project in the future, and you asked for suggestions. You did not give me definite things that you'd like done about those about the task that may be at hand. But then again, since you told me about the task, about what you'd like to see in the future without even giving me what processes you'd like me to perform, then creativity sparked. So I was able to actually give you suggestions and also think of ways for me to be able to help out and for me to be able to make that task successful while it's still in the process of development. And also, for Filipinos, there's one thing that you need to know about us. We're quite shy. I mean, not all Filipinos are like me, who's very outspoken. That if they don't know something, they would not ask about it and just be quiet. So I think the important thing is that if you are trying to test them, this is a good way for you to be able to test their creativity and their ability to communicate. Because giving them vague tasks, you would know if they're just pretending to know what to do. It's also a way for you to be able to test people. Once you for example, you tell me to create an email using Google Apps, and I don't know what that is.
Uh-huh.
And I don't ask anything, and I'm not able to perform that. Then, giving me that vague task, you would somehow ascertain that I'm not really that that good with doing Google Apps or performing tasks concerned with Google Apps. So you would know that I'm just pretending to be someone that I'm not. And also, like what I mentioned, you would be able to really know the strength of the employee you're actually hiring or the employee that you currently have. And it goes on and on. This vague task, it may seem for some as something negative, but it could actually work to your advantage if you're able to know how to position it properly.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that, Henson. I appreciate it. And there was one other question that I want to kind of wrap this up. I know we already went over an hour. Actually, we're about 70 minutes. And I want to let you guys all jump into your weekend and have a great time this weekend. By the way, we are recording this, so you will get this. How do you see yourself with SqueezeMobi in the future? What do you think is your role going to be with SqueezeMobi in the future, and how are you going to grow?
I honestly see a lot of potential for me to grow with SqueezeMobi. For example, there may be a lot of because I'm seeing a lot of activity with SqueezeMobi. I see that we have a lot of products being launched. We have a lot of affiliates that we're actually supporting right now. And one thing that I could actually see myself doing is really talking one-on-one with clients, for example, because as you can see, I'm very talkative. I'm a people person. I love engaging in conversation. So I think I could use this to my advantage to be able to get on the phone with clients, speak with clients about the products, If they have questions, I could be the one to introduce the product to them, explain how it works and how it would actually do good for them. And soon enough, because I'm seeing a lot of growth in the company, we're actually hiring another person. I could see myself performing managerial roles, for example, driving that person if that person's going to do support. Since I know the product already, I know how the support processes go, I could be the one to really drive that person to perform at his best, because I know if that person is lacking, because I know how the support ticket goes, and I know how to be able to answer them. I know the time it takes for me to be able to answer those tickets. So I could actually use that for me to be able to help those people that's going to get into the team to be really good in their position as support people. And later on, maybe they could actually take on my position, and I could actually move even higher. I actually see a lot of potential, as I've mentioned. That's why honestly seeing myself staying in the company for I think a minimum of forever. if there's even something beyond forever, I'm very enthusiastic about the company. I'm very happy joining the company, and I think the key to that, the reason why I'm this happy and enthusiastic about the company is because Avi, Neil, and Enrique is very transparent about what's happening in the company. They always allow us to take part, like what I'm doing right now. I'm in this webinar. They ask me to really join and participate and really become part of the team, not just as an outsourcer. I actually don't even feel like an outsourcer anymore. I actually feel like I'm really part of the team. So this really drives me to even do well for the team and the company. So if I think you're going to, for guys or for people who's going to want to hire VAs like me, I think this is a great tip that they could actually do. Just make sure that they have those people, the people that they're going to hire, involved, and make them feel that they're really part of the company, not just as a third party working offshore. That's going to really make them as enthusiastic as I am. Because honestly, I know, and I could actually vouch for it, you have pools of people, thousands of people just waiting for you to hire that's really good and even better than I am.
That's good. And thank you, Henson, for that. I really appreciate that. That makes me excited, and especially that you also kind of say that you have a ton, or you know that kind of the Philippines are filled with a lot of people with potential. I might be actually planning, and I don't know if I mentioned this at maybe one of the meetings, but I might be planning a trip a little bit later on in the year, maybe around just before summer, to Southeast Asia, maybe Philippines or around that area. So we'll see, what we can kind of do as well. That could be also an exciting opportunity. And before we kind of leave off, I wanted to also say a couple more things. Number one, about evaluating progress. This is one thing. So now we set it up. We set up this entire task, and also, like you said, and this is one thing that we asked. I asked you about our end of the year meeting, and I definitely think everyone should have this. It doesn't have to be structured like in the corporate world, but so you get to know your team members. We have daily meetings Monday through Friday, every single day. I have them with pretty much the entire team for about, let's say, sometimes around 20 minutes, just real quick, just so everyone is up to date, no one is left in the dark. And we're also transitioning into weekly meetings that I'm going to have one-on-one with Henson and Abigail, possibly with some other people, but people that are obviously a little more responsible for. I'm going to leave that up to him, but at least with Henson and Abigail, as we continue working on some of these projects, such as enlarging the team here. So I also kind of highly recommend that you do that as well, transitioning into these evaluation, and creating some type of progress reports. I have to say your end of the day reports are amazing, Henson. Now, before we go into the Q&A, I do want to ask one thing, and I'm very interested to get a little bit of feedback and ask, what is something that would help your outsourcer, or what tool would you want that you could then give to people that you outsource to as well? And I want to kind of see the feedback from everyone here, and I want what people think that they would that would help them. All right, so I see different types of templates and documents and the different kind of hiring docs. Okay, okay. I see that as well, and then that's something that I'm going to kind of take into the mind. Mark's saying that not sure even where to start, so more of an even step-by-step right from the beginning, kind of like a walkthrough. Okay, okay, cool. So I see a lot of people are saying a little bit of a step-by-step and yes, and a little bit of the cultural thing as well. Well, okay, I mean, that is something that we will consider as well, to possibly kind of take things a little bit to the next level, to give you the resources and really applying it to as well step by step regarding, hey, how do you outsource the creation of mobile site templates, maybe sourcing also people off Fiverr, things of that nature. So let's get into a little bit of a Q&A, and I want to see what did you guys think? What did you guys think about this session? Was this something that you want to know more about as well in the future? Is this something that, is this a place where you want to take your business, or is this something that is maybe not? And being honest with me, being honest, I want to really bring the stuff that's going to take it for you to the next level. So, all right, talking about the WordPress, the directory, and relating it as well to the products. Okay, okay, cool. All right, well, let's get into a little bit of a Q&A, and we'll do a Q&A for about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up for this Saturday here, and I'll send out the replay. I see a couple of people asked about the replay. I'll send out the replay to everyone and ask, and let me know if the question is for me or Henson. Henson's still on, so he can answer any questions as well, and we'll see. So Doug's saying an interesting thing. All right. So Doug is saying you could help people who are basically brand new, create a complete, basically kind of walkthrough of typical projects and the processes, starting with interviewing, all the way to delivering, and also the kind of the end product. All right, showing newbies what they need to do to be an effective consultant, system designer, and project manager. Okay, cool. And examples of Henson's daily report. Kevin, we'll see. We'll try to figure out what we can do, and maybe we'll kind of create a little bit of a course or something like that as well. I mean, we do have a ton of projects. One secret project I can't tell anybody about, but we do have a ton of projects in the pipeline. But that is something that we are considering as well. All right. Now, and Duran says, in the processing of hiring a new sales team to populate my online restaurant directory. This info is great. All right. Thank you, Duran. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's wrap it up. If anyone has any more questions, I'll take one last question before we wrap it up, and then we'll call it a day for this weekend. And I'm gonna get back to work, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a debrief with Henson and some of these suggestions and some of this feedback that you gave to us. We're gonna try to incorporate it and try to just bring you kind of the best solutions that are gonna be on the market. All right. Now, isn't onlinejobs.ph afraid you will steal Henson? WJ is asking. Marcel's asking the salary quote. That is not something I will disclose, and I hope you can kind of understand that, Marcel, regarding kind of Henson. That is just internally our salaries are kind of a little bit sensitive, but I'll give you a range. That you should be looking at between, I mean, anywhere from 15. I'll give you the same range that Henson said, depending on qualifications and also for like project managers and things like that. A good and this varies with people and everything and how you set up your bonuses, but 15 to 25,000 PHP, meaning approximately $375 to $675. Just a good range that you can start with as people per month on a monthly basis. WJ is asking, isn't onlinejobs.ph afraid that you'll steal Henson? That's not how it works. Henson, and I hope you have actually, Henson has deleted that he's not available. We hired him full time. He is not an outsourcer. He's a part of the team. So I hired him on a 40-hour-a-week type of gig. Sometimes it's a little more, but that's just how it works. So we have stolen him officially, kind of. All right. Now let's see, Marcel. I hope that helped. Okay. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up then. And I hope that everyone enjoyed the session. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for coming out. All right, take care, Henson. I'll see you soon as well.
Take care. See ya. Thank you, everyone.